Conventional farming wisdom says 25 horsepower per shank or per bottom on a bottom plow. This is a moldboard bottom plow, or just a moldboard plow, or just a bottom plow, but it's a 2-bottom plow. We'll be pulling with a 39 horsepower tractor. But it's not really a 39 horsepower tractor. It's got hydrostatic drive, so by the time that power comes from the engine, goes through that hydraulic transmission and gets to the wheels, we lose quite a bit of power. So we're probably looking at 36 horsepower. So we only have 18 horsepower per shank, but we're gonna give it a try anyway. So let's get to work. What we've got out here in Piney Grove is a 1-acre field that's never been plowed. It was planted pines, it was bulldozed, and then we box bladed it, and we've just been disking it or tilling it with a rototiller to put in our crops now for about 5 years. What's happened by doing that and driving the tractor over it, it's become somewhat hard packed. So we want to break up that hard pan a little bit as deep as we can with this plow. And then we also want to take what's here on the top, this vegetation, and also we have some clover growing here, and clover takes nitrogen from the air and puts it into the soil. So we want to take this growing clover, turn that over, and then that nitrogen will be turned over by the plow and it'll be in the soil and available for the soybeans that we want to plant in here next. This is a 3-speed transmission. I'll be plowing in low gear, wide open throttle. I didn't have any traction issues, but that's because the plow wasn't really digging deep. Now the points on this plow are pretty worn, they're rounded, and I knew that going in, but I'm gonna keep adjusting the top link here and changing the angle of the plow and seeing if I can get it to go deeper. So I'm gonna shorten this, and by shortening this, it's gonna tilt the plow this way, and maybe the points will dig in deeper. By changing the angle, I'm able to get the plow to dig in deeper. I'll probably do that a little bit more. So right now it's plowing this depth right here, which is probably 6 or 8 inches. This plow has probably a 16-inch moldboard. It can go deeper. I think the tractor can pull it deeper. So what it's doing is the curve of this moldboard right here flips it over. So it's taking this grass side and flipping it down, and that'll start to decompose. But I think I want it a little deeper. I'm gonna mess with that top link a little bit more. Hey, Deb.
Hello.
Deb is trying to keep up with that thing. That worked really good by shortening that top link. It went a lot deeper, and it was all that that tractor could do to pull it, and that's as deep as I want that plow to be. 1, because it doesn't need to be tilled any deeper, and 2, because I don't need to strain the tractor any more than that. But if I can keep that depth going all the way across the field, then I'll accomplish what I set out to do today. So if you're new to plowing, never seen it before, never done it before, thinking you might want to do it for your garden or your fields, you may be wondering, what am I going to do about this furrow right here? Well, there's a couple ways you can plow. You can keep going to that end and plowing this way. It throws the dirt that way, and you just keep pushing that furrow on down the hill or down your field. Or you can section this off, say go over 30, 40 feet, and do like a circle type thing where you're throwing the dirt this way as you go from there to here, and as you go from there to there, you'll throw the dirt that way, and eventually you'll end up with one furrow in the middle of your plowed field, and then you'll take another section and do that. This is a relatively small field, so I think rather than doing it the most efficient way, which is to section it off, I'm just gonna plow, drive, plow, and just keep moving this furrow that way. This land slopes quite a bit, so all these little hills and these cracks and valleys, ridges in the furrow, that'll keep water from washing out. And I don't want like 4 furrows that I have to disc or use a tiller on to smooth out later. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and keep that type of rhythm or that type of pattern to plow this whole field. I've made one adjustment already to lengthen the top link a little because it's all this tractor can do to pull that. So what I'm gonna do is lengthen it a little more and make it a little less aggressive, because now that I have a furrow started, it's really digging in good, and that's as deep as I need to plow, and I don't want to harm my tractor. I don't mind it working hard, I just don't want to overwork it. Now that I got a good angle on the plow with the top link, I'm adjusting my draft control. I've been picking it up a little bit because I feel like it's plowing a little bit too deep. So I've been bringing it up from 1 to 2 to 3. Right now I'm right around 3, and I think that's the right number. We'll just adjust as we go. Okay, it's plowing pretty good. I'm using the draft control when I feel the tractor start to bog down. But if I pull it up from like a deep till, then it doesn't want to re-catch because the points are dull on the plow. So this end isn't getting plowed as deep. So it's kind of a balance as I go across the field, how high up I want to pull the control. But it's looking real good, and it's doing exactly what we wanted it to do, which is bury this trash and all this other matter up here, all this organic matter on the top, bury it underneath. Bring a little clay from the top and mix it with the topsoil. You can see the clay ribbons, then the sand in the topsoil, and of course the thatch, the organic matter through there. And it's just changing the profile of the soil. Another thing it's doing is smoothing it out, because when this was bulldozed, they buried the stumps out there in the center. Some of those areas are starting to settle, and also there's a few stumps that they didn't get that have rotted, so I've got stump holes out here, just kind of like little sinkholes. And it's just got a little bumpy. So now that this has been tilled, the soil will get mixed. We'll mix it with a disc harrow and a rototiller. So stay tuned for that video. We're gonna do a comparison of a disc harrow across plowed ground and also a rototiller. I know which one's gonna look better, but some people only have one implement and not both, so we're gonna show both. All right, what do you think? You've been gone for a little while.
I think the soil looks a lot better than what I thought it would, because it looks like fairly rich soil, but there is a lot of clay in it still, huh? But it looks good. I mean, does a good job, but it's slower going, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That thing's only, I don't know, 16 inches times 2, 32 inches at a time going across there. And when you got an acre to do, and one of those passes is just driving the tractor back, you're not making a lot of progress. But what have you been up to? Chasing dogs?
So Bailey is 14 years and 4 months old. She's an old woman. She's blind, she's deaf. She's got tumors and a bad heart. So I went and visited with the folks and tried to get Bailey to calm down and take a nap. So we were successful. She took a nap, I didn't take a nap.
I think Miss Piney Grove took a nap.
Nope.
Let's get back to plowing. The beauty of YouTube is you get to watch us make mistakes so that you can get it right the first time. I finally got the angle of the plow right as far as the top link, and I've also found the right spot for the draft control. I'm keeping it at around 3, and then when I hear the tractor start to labor, the RPM start to come down a little, I pick it up to about 4 in those tough spots, and I'm getting a much more consistent furrow now. You can see these last 5 or 6 passes, it's very consistent, the same depth all the way through. Where there, I might have been deeper there, shallow there, deeper there, and real shallow at the end. Now I've got a consistent furrow all the way across. So earlier we talked about the burrow pits where they put the stumps when they cleared the land, and this is one of them. And you can hear the tractor really work when it gets into just this pure clay right here. But now that that's been mixed a little over the years, and now mixing it today, now that'll be less compacted clay going forward. And that's mainly what we're trying to do here, besides take the organic matter and mix it in with the soil, is mix some of these hard clay spots in with the topsoil as well. This is all freshly mowed, and the reason that we did that is if you don't mow the field first before you plow, you'll get a lot of this. Now we're still getting a little bit of it where it's getting hung up there on the shanks of the plow, but nothing that you have to clean off. It's kind of self-cleaning. But if we hadn't mowed this ahead of time, we would have had 2.5, 3 foot tall rye. It would have got bound around the plow, and it also would have stuck up a lot through here and not look good, but that's not important. But what would be important is at the end of every row, having to pull that rye out. So one thing you can do to make plowing a little easier is to mow first.
It looks good. Oh, this is taking a while. It's only 1 acre. Slow and steady wins the race. It's hard telling what smells are in here that she's smelling. All kinds of deer and coyote and who knows what. Doggy heaven.
This is plowing up really good. I got lots of air spaces in between these furrows so water can get down in there, help me mix the soil with the next couple rains before we till. If you've got friends out there that make fun of you because you got a compact tractor, show them this video. Show them what a compact tractor can do. 39 horsepower tractor pulling a 2-bottom plow as deep as that plow will go, and just really doing a great job out here for us on Piney Grove. We'll leave you with some footage of this field finished at the end, but that's gonna do it for today's video, folks. We sure appreciate you watching. We'll put a couple links up here to some of our other videos, but until next time, remember, life's short, tractor hard.